Okay. There we go. That's the chat over there. So where do I get the... Where do I get the pop-up chat? Okay, so I can see that. Let's see. Is there a link? Ah, there we go. All right, gonna start sharing the link in a couple of places. Okay, now gonna also share it up on Twitter real quick. All right, let's see. I don't think I'm going to be able to have the chat box open as I draw. Yeah. Eventually, when I move, I'm going to have a double monitor situation since I'll be buying a new PC at the same time too. Okay, so let me go ahead and get started. Okay, people are trying to chat with me on Facebook. I'm not going to be doing that. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm probably going to spend out the first 45 minutes to an hour streaming and doing some doodles, some sketches. I had some friends suggest some verbs because I figured it'd be really fun to just take some verbs as inspiration just for sketching. Because I want to do more sketching, and I kind of got out of the habit of just sketching for fun. And a really bad habit of mine is that I tend to get really bored drawing if I'm not working on something that's a story. So I want to sketch more to kind of loosen up, practice, and also get myself out of that mindset so I can just kind of like concentrate more. So looking at the list of verbs here, and my favorite one so far, there's a lot of really good ones, but my favorite one so far is dazzling. So let me, and I'm probably just going to do all these sketches right here on this one page. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I have a ton of tabs open though. We don't need Discord. All right. We need OBS. Okay, cool. So dazzling. How what do I think of as dazzling? Well, first of all, I think I want just kind of like a cool, fantastic kind of pose, or at least a pose that I think is kind of cool. And then I kind of want most of the time whenever I loose sketch, I kind of really only focus on anatomy studies, so no one's ever clothed. But I think a dazzling kind of person, they're going to be kind of stylish, right? So let's play around with giving this dude like an outfit too. He's definitely going to have sunglasses, I'll tell you that much. There's also a verb suggestion of voguing, and I guess I'll just combine the two. I'll do what I think is like a really cool, just a really cool pose, and I think that's kind of like dazzling, right? That's sparkling, even without the idea of color. I made color some of these sketches, but I'm using Manga Studio right now, which I don't think is like really cool for color. And so at that point, I would probably open up Clip Studio. And I definitely want to do more stuff with color, experiment more with color. Like I want to draw someone here that I think is like has a real hot build, right? Like that's dazzling. We're gonna kind of tilt this head just a little bit more. Yeah. And also, I'm kind of taking my time with this one, but I do part of the practice here is also to kind of get faster too. Like I'm thinking about this anatomy maybe a little bit too much. He's gonna have like hands in his pockets or something like that. I just kind of want to know where these parts of the body are, and I think we're just gonna kind of do something kind of cool with the hand like that. We'll figure that out in a bit. Or he's just kind of like this, because I don't want to spend too much time on this one, because I want to move on to some of the other suggestions. And right now we're being kind of loose. We'll fix that kind of anatomy stuff up later. But we do want to clothe this guy, so we don't want to sit around thinking about muscles all day, right? But we are going to just kind of clean up the form a little bit more. Yeah. And if anyone's hanging out here with me today, thank you for being here. I see that there's like one in the analytics there, and I don't know if that's because I have the analytics open or if someone's come by to join. But if you're here, give me a shout out there in the chat, and I'm here to say hi. Okay, I think that's kind of cool. So why don't we start thinking about what this dude's wearing, right? Because that's part of the dazzling aspect of it all. Well, I want to think about his legs here a little bit more because I don't think this looks very good. Do, do. Okay, cool. And he's gonna have some really fun hair. And if I were to do something with color, I'd probably give him like, I don't know, some kind of cool two-toned hair or something like that. But definitely there'd be like sparkles and shit. Like he'd have like glitter in his hair and shit. Tone in my language. That one person might be my nephew. Let's see here. So, I'm kind of feeling this right now, and what we're gonna do, because I do want to clothe this guy, because I think cool clothing is going to be what's part of dazzling. It's kind of what reduce the size of his head there a bit. So let's make another layer here. And all right, so I'm kind of a fan of layering. So he's going to be wearing some kind of jacket that I think is going to be kind of cool. Why don't we come back down here and figure out this anatomy a little bit more, just enough to make sure that when we draw folds, we've kind of got things. Let's zoom out, kind of see the big picture here. So I don't want to get into the bad habit of zooming in too close and losing sight of the full sketch. And I can tell you right now, I kind of feel like, I want to use this whole page, right, for, we'll just do something like that with his hand and fingers right there, thumb's going to be right there, something like that. We'll spread out the fingers a little bit for something a little fun with that. Okay, but I am feeling like, hey, I want to do a whole bunch of sketches here today, so you're taking up way too much room, buddy. We're going to fit everything here on this page, so we're going to make you a little smaller, kind of put you over in the corner over here. All right, let's get back to this layer, and we can just kind of get rid of what's there. All right, let's get back over here. I kind of want to be, since I am being a little loose and stuff with things, like normally I think what I would do is I would probably try to maybe look at some reference outfits that I think are kind of cool to give this guy. But for now, we'll just kind of make up something and kind of hope it's cool, right? So let's get that sleeve there. Boop. And I think it'll be cool if he kind of like rolls up the sleeve a bit. Why don't we do something a little fancy here? Like maybe it's got like a zipper over here or something like that. That'd be cool. Some kind of collar. And we're dazzling, right? So it's gonna kind of be, but maybe there's some wind around. So this guy's cool, right? There we go. And we'll figure out the same thing over here. Same kind of like flaring out like he's a Yu-Gi-Oh character or something like that. Their jackets are always like flaring out like that and stuff. All right, so about kind of folds there. Something like that. All right, and again, he's gonna kind of roll these up. So I'll just kind of bunch it up like that. And again, these kind of zip up right here. So it's kind of cool. I'm a big fan of V-necks. This dude's dazzling, right? So he's going to wear all the kind of fashion that I think is cool. And maybe have a necklace of some kind too. And I just think, like here, the verb dazzling, I'm thinking not just, sparkling kind of stuff, but also like confidence, So we're going to put that here in his expression too. Come on. There we go. So kind of get a little idea of his nose. But and the eyebrows, doing something like this. Why don't we do some fun shades that kind of curve. Like so, and we'll refine those in a bit. Well, I probably shouldn't be doing a whole lot of refining. I want to get to more of the ideas. So why don't we just try to keep we'll try to keep this a little loose. And sides are going to be shaved. I think that's a little cool, right? There we go. And then he's going to have some like just really fun kind of curly hair. I don't like that shape. I'm going to do it more like that. And it kind of goes out like that. And, you know, try to not just think of this as like a single shape, but like what are all the shapes doing? All right. Okay, so I think that's kind of good for now. Do we want any facial hair on this guy? Dazzling. I think he's going to be very clean shaven. Let's play around with the ear a little bit. There we go. And then just to play around with the outfit a little bit more. Be cool if there was some sort of let's think about this collar a little bit more. This is kind of feeling like a little Letterman jacket or something like that. I don't know if that's like dazzling or cool. So let's play around with the collar just a little bit more. Maybe something kind of reminiscent of like a blazer or something. Yeah, I think I'm digging that. Let's put a single button. And so I just kind of seeing a few things, seeing if we got any comments or anything, if there's anybody to chat with. Nothing? Okay, that's cool though. So we're still thinking dazzling here, but I am kind of feeling like it would be cool to move on to another one of the. It's kind of like a chain or something. I don't know how fashionable that still is. Like, you know, yeah, like I like the idea. I was thinking about, you know, did I want to give him a belt or did I want his shirt to be untucked? But I think it'd be kind of cool and dazzling, like if it kind of like is blowing out too. And he's probably wearing some tight pants. Maybe they're kind of torn in some places. That'd be kind of cool. Okay, and just to, I don't want to leave them handless, but I do want to move on to some of the other ideas. So we're just gonna be a little loose here with the. Oh, you know what? Watches are cool, right? Watches also sparkle, and that's the other thing, right? Dazzling, right? Like this guy needs jewelry galore. Right, so earrings, maybe a handful of those. Here he's gonna have just all kinds of stuff, different shapes. And I'm thinking rings too, because he's dazzling this kind of figure too. And I'll think about those fingers like that. All right, being a little loose here with the hand. Oops. But I want to get to the main idea of why I want to get here to the hands, but I want him to have some rings as well. This is the middle finger, so it's a little longer. Curve shape there. All right, yeah, add some rings on these fingers here too. And over here, he's got a watch on. Timepiece. A little hard to see here with the, I don't like that. Make sure we're sketching that zipper a bit. All right, also rings on these fingers here too. Okay, cool. And we'll write out that verb. Oops. Lost a few rings there when I did an undo. Oh. Hello, Meredith. Can you hear me? I don't know if my audio is working out well there. Let me get back to some of the verbs because I do want to take a look at the next one that I want to do. So for sure, this is dazzle. All right, and we'll just move you off to the side here. There's our first verb of the day. Hello, Amara. This hand here is a bit small before we move on. Let's do. Okay. Oops. Oops. There we go. And Control D there. That's a pinky. There we go. So Amaro's over there giving me a little bit of shade about these fingers. Still not great, but I want to move on to the next verb. Maybe something where I can get a bit of motion. So let me go look. Here's a funny one, pooping. I may actually draw that. Oh my God, there's a conversation behind it. Someone else. Stretched out dramatic at a low angle. No, thank you. I have an idea for pooping, and it's not going to be dirty. So gesticulate. Oh my God, that sounds fun. But I might save that one for later. Let me see what else we have here on the list. Intensify. Intensify. Ooh. Explode. Explode has a lot of motion in it. So I think I'm gonna do explode, and then I'm gonna do intensify, and then we'll see what's next. There's a lot of really good ones that Jesse suggested too. So let's get back over here. Hello, Eli. No, Amara, I will not be. If I end up doing that one, it's going to be something a little wholesome. I feel like I could probably add some more wrinkles and stuff in there, but I'm thinking a little bit too much about that, and I said, well, I'm going to move on to the next verb. We're gonna do explode. Explode. Okay, so explode. I'm kind of thinking. When I'm thinking exploding, the first thing I'm really thinking of is that time in Dragon Ball where Cell explodes. And so kind of like a body. kind of growing way more than it should. There's a head there. We're going to do little arms. So the shoulder would be probably here. And it'd be kind of funny if parts of that were like not growing as much as the other parts. And so, yeah, teeth. Yeah, I don't know. It won't quite look like that, but I thought that was a little fun thing to draw. But and I sort of think a cool thing would be kind of thinking about this person's musculature kind of bulging out of control as they're just gonna pop. And I want to think of everything as kind of round and I don't know, bubbly. And then there's the belly here. And I think coming up a little bit more like that. And I want to think of some odd ways for parts of the body to be kind of tilting here, and maybe like pops and bulges coming out. So this dude's like neck is like right here, and like so, and then their head is kind of like this, and then like maybe their ear is like doing like that cauliflower ear thing. Both ears, sure, why not? This looks. This guy's not having a good time. Oh man, hey, children in the audience, let's but okay, so I guess Android Bones is gonna be you, Christine. I mean, I might get to the pooping one, we'll see. Yeah. Sometimes I think about sound effects, and we'll be thinking the same thing here with the legs. But of course, what abs are going to be like weird. I think that'd be kind of fun to like to see the abs like doing this weird thing here too, kind of popping out. Okay, legs. But you know what? I feel like we're not quite at the explosion part of this, right? So some parts of this have got to be like, right? I don't know if that's going to quite be the part that does that, but I kind of want to start thinking about where their shoulder is. Right, and then that's a good point to kind of think about something popping off. And we'll do more stuff with that hand later. Sure, like your lips are probably getting swollen too, right? And we can't forget the eyes. One's got to be kind of like bulging, right? Maybe one's already. Oop. Maybe one's already done that too. Oh, so much chatting. Let me see. Let me catch up on everyone. Popcorn hair. Huh. Wait, don't do pooping. Yeah, everyone talk me out of that one, please. Combine, intensify, and poop. You guys really want me to draw that, huh? Okay, but let's put some pants on this dude. His pants are somehow keeping in shape even though his body is kind of exploding, right? Like some Hulk pants, right? Like it's strange how everything else in the Hulk like breaks. Button popping out there, and then zipper. I don't know. Kind of thought this was looking a little better when I wasn't thinking about the clothing. But we need veins, right? Usually for veins, I kind of would like bust out some anatomy reference to kind of like figure out where the veins are going to be. But who cares right now, right? We're having a little bit of fun. This one kind of goes vertical. No, I don't like the pants. I don't like the pants. But I don't want to think about his unmentionables either, so we're just gonna kind of get a roll over here or something. More things popping out. That's fun. More. I like this ab that's going way over the pectoral. Yeah. Okay, so let's draw this arm that popped off a bit. And, another time where I'd want to like break out my anatomy book and reference some muscles, because I think at least for this kind of like this dude's body is growing way too much for himself and is kind of exploding. I would like to reference the muscles a little bit more to kind of use those as part of what's going on here. But you know, we're just sketching right now. If it was like a full illustration, I bet I would definitely be putting that kind of energy into it. But we do want to play around with the fingers. I want to make sure I get some quick finger practice in while we do these things. Still looks pretty awful. I'm in my like lazy Transaltown fingers. So I may in my personal time bust open the sketchbook and just practice rendering fingers a whole lot more again, because I know I got real lazy with Transaltown with fingers and would just kind of like suggest them. I think I'm done with this idea, so we're just gonna have this other arm pop off too. But we do kind of want to I do want to have his feet though. I think those would be fun to draw. But I do kind of also want to take this time to kind of like think about how I would render out explosion effects a little bit more than just like, we don't want just like that, right? We want to get the energy of this. One other thing I really like to do when I'm trying to figure out how to convey the energy of something is I'll actually watch those things in motion a lot, and even though I'm probably gonna go for some sort of effect that has some sort of motion to it. See, I think this looks really cartoony, which is fine if I'm doing something really cartoony. But I think experimenting and watching some explosions and figuring out how I want to render out that energy will be a kind of fun thing, right? Because if you look up pictures of explosion, you're going to see like the billowing clouds in the aftermath of the explosion. And that's cool and all, but like that doesn't have the kinetic energy of the explosion, and so you kind of also want to I want the clouds, but I also kind of want to maybe like do things like that with the clouds. But then that ends up making them look loose and like they don't have a whole lot of volume. So that's definitely something I'm gonna sit around and study when I get the opportunity, because that's something I would like to figure out. Let's I'm gonna draw 1 foot on the sky, and turn this a bit. His toes are like, yeah, because his toes are gonna pop too, and maybe one of his toes has popped. And here's a toe, big old toe, and it's got like, oops. This one's got like a toenail on it still, right? But like maybe one of these toes like actually just like lost a toenail, and there's just like a toenail flying around. All right, other one popped off because we're done with this idea. Explosion, boom. That's it. Okay, and we're gonna put you. Go right on over here. We'll move you on out of the way. And that's explosion. All right. Let me get caught up on. Oh no. Oh no. More poop. Oh yeah. Fist of the North Star. It would be excellent reference for the explosion, because yeah, there's a lot of the body gore and their skin just and sinew kind of like popping out. That's a good idea. Even if I'm probably never gonna have anything like that in anything I write, someone might have me draw such a thing, such as pooping. Man, everyone wants me to draw pooping here. The nephew wants it too, not Orange over there. I tell you what, pooping is going to be after this next one. I want to do intensify, I think. Finagle, that's a good one too. Oh my God, Jesse has all the best ones. I'm definitely gonna do one or two of Jesse's suggestions. Eli, we are. I'm just kind of loosening up and doing some sketches, and so I've taken some suggestions of verbs to use as inspiration for the sketches. And I think I might do this for the next. Well, I'll do. I'm gonna do intensify. I'm gonna do pooping, unfortunately, and then I'm gonna do one of Jesse's really good suggestions, and then after that, I'm probably gonna crack open some work on one of the character designs for my next comic, and yeah, here I'll pop it open right there. Also, if you're like a Patreon subscriber, you can see the sketches and doodles that I've already been doing of some of the characters for this next project that I am attempting to, or that I am in the process of kind of crystallizing. What I tend to do in order to kind of get the ideas pumping is just draw the characters I want to draw like a lot. And then that helps me kind of figure out who they are. And so that's kind of the phase I'm going to be in for maybe the next month or two, as I really think about who those two characters that I really want to draw are. But let me do one more little look at the chat. Do gaming. Okay. So I am going to do intensify next. Yeah, yeah, Christine, that is the unfortunate hilarity of being your friend, is that I have to draw someone pooping today. So I'm going to do intensify, and I actually want to just do that one as an expression. Yeah, like I want to draw like maybe maybe an intense expression, because I definitely want to work on my expressions more. I think that's kind of those are really fun to draw. Yeah, maybe something like this. I don't like any of that. There we go. Like I want someone giving you an intense look, but I also want to give off the vibe that like their disgust is growing the more that they're looking at you. And when I draw expressions a lot, I kind of think of you know, the big things are going to be the eyes and the mouth, and so I'll just kind of like place those, and then you know, they're not going to always be there, or they're not always going to kind of look that way, but that kind of gets me in that energy of the expression that I'm looking for. And we got a couple of artists here in the chat, and I want to know, are any of you guys the type of artist that like will feel the emotion that you're drawing? I know that like when I'm drawing an emotion, I will have the same expression on my face. I definitely want to do some stuff with like light. I think light and like wrinkles are gonna help a lot for this. And drop. Oh, that's gonna be maybe around. Oh yeah, I think that's something real low like that. That'd be kind of fun, but we'll think about that. So yeah, and also like the beauty. What I like to do in my sketchbook, especially when I'm like sketching at work, when I'm slacking off, I like to sketch with a ballpoint pen, and like everything's just kind of permanent. And then just letting my ideas just kind of like sit where they are, because I do think that working digitally for so long, I get the freedom to just be like, you go here now. Oops, wrong tool. You go here now, and then like you go here now, and everything is so non-permanent, and so it's kind of fun to be in a very permanent kind of situation. So what is this emotion? I'm thinking disgust, and I think it's like for now the eyebrows are kind of have like this kind of game going on, and I think that expression kind of like gets all bunched up in the nose too. And the nose gets all scrunched up. And then we move this over here. Oops. There we go. I keep missing my hotkeys. All right, so why don't we go ahead and like actually make this lip expression look a little bit more natural. And also I can imagine it gets kind of bunched up over here too. Yeah, okay, we're getting some kind of fun here. And this person needs hair, but I can't think of what that hair is going to be, so we'll think about that a little bit more. Maybe there's just like, yeah. I don't understand unless the emotions are anger and disappointment. Oh no. Yeah, let's give more F's in the chat there. Okay, so I think one thing I want is for this eye here to be a little large. And this particular emotion too is going to be felt in the eyes a lot. This eye squinched up. Maybe more like this. All right, that really gets the intense anger across. And you know what? Since it is intense, the eyebrows get to be intense too, right? Ah, look at these brows. Yeah. And a little bloodshot here. More like that. No, this could probably be more like this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make maybe the nose more like, yeah, and turn. Same thing. Just squiggle in some hair there. All right, yay, fun. All right, let's do. All right, just making sure I get all that on the same layer there. All right. This is where I get self-conscious about not having spell check. Hopefully I got that right. Okay. So we're gonna do pooping next. Okay. Yeah. Even the eyebrows are angry. I kind of don't like where this ear is placed. Let's oops. Keep missing that hotkey. Keep missing that hotkey. There we go. Color that in. That goes like that. All right, cool. Intensity. And make sure I save this. I haven't saved at all. And it would be unfortunate to lose this. Do I have a folder for just loose sketches? I do not. Okay, let's make a new folder. Oh, I do. Well, where is it? It's in alphabetical order. There it is. And we'll just call it verbs. Okay, here we go. Gonna draw somebody pooping for you guys. You know what? And I am going to pull up some reference because I've never drawn a toilet before. And they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. Find an interesting shape. I like this one. So yeah, we're gonna start with the toilet, and then work out my sketch ideas from there. The stickler in me wants to start pulling out my perspective tools and stuff, but I'm still just trying to be loose with all of this. So we're just gonna make do. So I'm kind of already not liking some of the shapes there. And you see, this is why we use reference. There's a whole lot of shapes and parts to the toilet that I would have forgotten to draw, like the top here, for you to take off and look inside of anytime that you're like toilet's not flushing and you're all like, what the heck's wrong with my toilet? And I think all of this part should probably be just a little bigger. That was the consequence of me zoomed in too far and not looking at the whole picture there. Okay, so nice general toilet shape. There's a lot of things I don't like about like down there and stuff. The perspective's a bit wonky, but that's not really what we're here for. We're doing some loose sketching today. Oh, you know what? See, the reference that I was looking at has the toilet seat down, but it's gonna be up, right? Someone's pooping. And so there's actually, wait. There's the first part here, this ring shape. And we're not going to put too much effort into the full torus shape there because someone's going to be sitting. And then there's the other part. It's going to be up. Like so. And a lot of these shapes are going to get covered up, but I feel a lot better just kind of knowing that all of those shapes are just kind of generally there. This is also the part where my Google search is going to get a little weird, right? Because now I'm thinking to myself, what is the proportion of the toilet to a person who is sitting in the toilet? So now I have to Google sitting on a toilet. Thank you very much, everyone. I love you all. Go incognito. How do we feel about a squatty potty? I think I'm gonna add that to the sketch here, squatty potty. Now I'm looking up pictures of squatty potties. Okay, but no, we're just gonna continue here so we can get to one of the next ideas. Okay, so proportions of a person sitting in a toilet, they're about yay high. Let's do here. Oops. Yep. And if you are learning to draw, let me tell you, making weird sound effects is absolutely necessary. Yeah. Okay, so originally I was all like, I'm gonna be, proportions are still a little wrong here, so up, whoop, and sit here. Originally I was all like, still a little tall. Actually, let me make sure I do this on a different layer. Originally I was like, I was going to be so wholesome about it and just like have a newspaper. Pants are down. And just be all like, ha, you see, that's what you get, right? I didn't have to draw anything too embarrassing. But then I started thinking to myself, I was like, what does everybody do on the toilet? They look at their cell phone. Healthy. So yeah, on the knees and kind of hunched over. Yeah. And they're going to be swiping left. And this is another one of those moments where I'm just being super loose because I'm going to give myself another layer in a bit. But for now, I just kind of want the idea of the pose, and then we'll start thinking about the anatomy and stuff later. Now I gotta hold something in my hand for reference to, just to kind of get that idea right. Okay. Definitely need to work on my feet more. Yeah, I'm not digging how that's looking at all. One down here. And we'll refine that later. Neck. It's going to be about right there. Let's see. I'm just going to check the chat real quick. What is the Broad City toilet montage? And doom scrolling because there's nothing better to do. It is a tough pose, and that's part of the reason why I went ahead and decided that this was actually a good idea. Is at first I was just gonna put my foot down and be like, no, we're not drawing pooping, and then Christine's all like, you never know when you're gonna have to draw that. And it's like, oh my god, it's actually freaking right. You know, as a comic book artist, you're gonna have to draw everything. You know, I have fewer and fewer or more almost every day. You know, even for stuff I write myself, I will get that moment where I think to myself, I've never drawn that before. But I think I'm just gonna. I probably don't want to put too much more thought into this. I think I've captured the idea here of the pooping gesture. So there's a lot of work involved in this. I got to draw a toilet, and then I put the extra thought in here of just being on the phone. I do want to figure out where to draw this hand. Definitely going to have a finger on the phone. So hand's going to be kind of like this. Thumb. And so it'd be kind of going like that. Foreshortening there. That would actually, the shoulder here would twist in. Something like that. All right, and we're just gonna clean this up just a bit, but we're gonna just leave it as the gesture here so we can move on to another idea, because that'll end up taking quite a while to flesh out. Are we happy, guys? I drew pooping. Again, we're going to be moving these to some layers real quick. We're going to duplicate that layer. And then merge these. Sure. Okay, cool. Merge that. And we're going to drop them on this layer too. There we go. And oh no. Oh, it's okay, I don't know why it's doing that, but whatever. We'll live with it. Just make sure we do full 32. What are you doing? You're not working with me here. Okay, whatever. You get your own layer. You're being obstinate. All right, so yeah, pooping. All right, enjoy your meal. And we're going to move on to the next sketch. I wonder why that popped up. I must have pushed a hotkey I didn't mean to push. What is happening? Oh, okay, things just need to refresh. Okay, bump that down to 50% opacity. Okay, cool. So which one did I say I was going to do next? I'm just going to do two more. I know I want to do one of Jesse's for sure. Eli, we'll have to save gaming for my next stream because we're going to move on to doing some actual work after we do two more of these little sketches, because I probably spent a little bit I definitely spent a lot longer on this than I thought I would, but I'm having fun. So what did we have here? Let me look at the list. Amorous, your fatal mistake. That's an interesting one. I'll save that for another stream though. Voguing. We did pooping. We did intensify. Oh, I guess I did the ones I said I was going to do before I did one of Jesse's. Daydreaming is really good. That's another one I would do as an expression. I might actually, daydream is, I have so many ideas, I might just do that as a full, like, little thing one day. But let's look at, okay, so friend Jesse made some really good suggestions. Debate, that's a fun one. That's probably one I would do two figures for, so I'll do that another time. Kiss, another thing with two figures, but that's really fun. I've drawn a lot of hugs. I don't think I've really drawn a lot of kissing. I don't think I've ever drawn any kissing, so that'd be fun. Finagle, I like that one because it just seems really fun and goofy. Destroy, which we kind of had with like explosion, right? But I like, oh, I really like gesticulate. And then she put a word here that I'm gonna have to go refer to a dictionary for because I am not well versed in words. My vocabulary should probably be better. Ooh, okay. So ensorcel, enchant and fascinate. What a beautiful verb. It's a very beautiful verb, and that has some really cool sketch. Yeah, I have some fun things, but I'm gonna save that one for another stream too, because that could just be a full just kind of opening sketch before I get to work on things. So I think I like gesticulate. Yeah, I think I like gesticulate. Okay. Because I think because that's using gestures to communicate, and so I kind of want to draw a gesture that is kind of dynamic, right? Um, yeah. So I think that's a good way to close the verb sketching is with just a dynamic gesture that gets across a lot of energy. All I'm really thinking of right now is maybe just like an intense point. But that gets the point across. Then I get to practice some foreshortening with that because that would really sell sell the pose. So let's go for that. I think I'm gonna start with a line like this. Do we like that line? Like this. Maybe I should think about maybe what the point this person's trying to get across. So there's a lot of thought involved in this verb, and that's what I like about it. What's the thought that I want to get across, and how to convey that in an intense gesture. That's why a point, because a point could have so many different. It could be intense. I could be pointing at you for a reason. Maybe you did something. I could be pointing at you to say like you're up, right? So I do think I'm going to stick to the point. I'm going to keep it simple. Keep the ideas simple. because we gotta move on, right? So we'll probably go very Phoenix right. I definitely think for this to work, I keep missing my hotkeys. Big for this. And, the other hand, and again, we're being really loose here in the beginning. There are definitely things that I want to change, like broadening out the shoulders a bit. And I want the pose itself to get it across, so the emotion is actually going to be rather subdued. And so, like, we're going to get things across with the hands and with the shape of the body. Maybe the stiffness of things like the shoulders and the straightness of the arms, the clinched up. I'm going to do some clinched up fingers here, and those are all going to really sell. Those are what I want to use to sell the gesture and the emotion more so than where's another woman, more so than the expression. And because I'm kind of like putting a lot more thought into this one, this is another one I'm just going to leave to just the anatomy, so that we can move on to what is actually on the docket today. I'm feeling a bodybuilding woman. That'd be fun. So why don't we we'll clean this up a bit here. This is all still very loose. We gotta do that too, so we can figure out the bicep. So do. Honestly, I'm not really feeling doing very ripped anatomy. We'll do less defined. But I still want to like the idea of this shape here. Yeah, this shape is fun. We'll find some other parts of the shape here to kind of get everything in the form that I want it to be. And big shoulders sound fun. Let's think about the placement of the shoulder blade. There we go. Or not the shoulder blade, the sternum. I'm forgetting the names of my body parts. Okay, cool. That's back muscle. Okay. That's looking kind of cool so far. What do we got here? Objection! Okay. The shoulder gets dropped. This goes like this. We got the elbow right here. Yeah, so that's they do more like that. There we go. Feeling like there we go. Part to there to be desired. Let's pull out. Look at the big picture here a bit. There are definitely some things that I'm feeling could use a little bit more work. Things. There we go. That looks much better. Okay. And there we go. I like that shape. Let's get over here a bit. Kind of clean up the mess that's up here. Drew Translatown for so long that like it's my natural inclination to kind of like draw pointed ears. So many monsters, pointed ears in that story. And that shape goes like that. Yes. I'm going to flip this canvas around a bit. Yeah, there we go. Again, I want the emotion on the face to be more subdued because we're trying to focus on the gesture here. And you know what? Phoenix Wright. Things are being said here. So there we go. She's got Phoenix Wright here. Okay, so let's put some focus on the hands here because the hands are going to be a really big part of selling this pose. But I still want to be fast, so I don't want to sit around looking at my hand for reference all day. So the stream. Can you guys hear me all right? I just got notification that I lost the stream there for a little bit, but it appears to be up and running again. So just let me know if you guys are seeing everything all right. The beauty of digital art, I can just resize and tilt things. this finger should actually probably be more over here, flared out like that. Let me just. Yeah, and the same thing goes with this finger here. I think, like, again, I don't want to try to spend too much time on these hands here, so that I can move on to what we should be doing tonight. But I do think that they're very important for this pose, and I do want to make sure I'm getting more practice in on rendering hands again. I want to do the same thing with feet for sure. I know my feet are very weak. Yeah. So I just want to get a lot of attention there. It's going to be like that. It's going to be more like boop, boop, boop. There we go. These shapes in there. And big old finger, right? And these other fingers kind of go here. Get that shape more right, like this. And we're going to go in there and refine that a whole lot more, so it's okay to be kind of loose when you're working like this at the beginning, especially digitally, because it's just so non-destructive. I can kind of rework things very quickly. If I were doing this traditionally, I would definitely be using like lighter pencils and drawing more lightly. But also, the more you draw something, the more you should get to it. I've drawn a lot of pointing before, so I do feel rather comfortable with this shape. Not ankle, wrist. I am just kind of refining it a bit because I am a wee bit out of practice since I stopped working on Transaltown. I took quite the break. So we want to make sure that we stay loose and we continue drawing, because it's just like everything else. It's a skill that needs to be nurtured and constantly taken care of. So joint right there. Not really fond of how that's tapering off. It feels a little large too, like that. Okay, let's get down to the nitty-gritty of the point, right? The index finger, and then we'll finish this shape up and get down to doing some work for broadcast and figuring that story out. For now, we're just going to do this big old shape like that, and we'll clean that up later once we get these in place. And when a grip is kind of intense, then like if this point was less intense, you would see this last part of the digits like that, right? But since it's more of an intense pose, they kind of get tucked in, right? Like this really tight grip. And you actually wouldn't end up seeing much, if any, of that last digit from where we're looking at. It would be something like this. Okay, looks like I lost OBS there and it just came back, but yeah, we're done with that pose. We get these embarrassing Google searches for looking up the toilet reference out of my life. All right, so this final pose was just I'm gonna make sure I'm spelling this right. Culate. There we go. That was fun. Just sketching out some gestures there. Yeah, and that was a super fun part of the stream. And now I think what I'll do here is I want to figure out what this character's color scheme is, and we see all these my original idea here was that he was going to have like these little camera things that he floats around with. I'm not too married to that idea anymore. This kid, working name for him right now is Ray, but he's gonna be a mechanic and inventor type character. He's gonna go on adventures with his big sister, who is more of an adventuring type character. And I've already put up some like I put up my concept art for both of them. This page for him and another page for his sister, whose name is currently Viola. I might change that one. And I figured out some color scheme ideas for her, and I'm going to be working on doing the same thing with Ray today. And so the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of ink this pose here, and then after that I'll copy that a few times and just kind of play around with colors for him. This will also give me a good opportunity to crystallize some things about his design. I think I want a larger pen here. What size is this right now? That's a little better. I can really figure out what kind of shapes I want him to have. When I was working on the color scheme for his sister, I decided to change a few shapes of hers on the fly there. And I may end up doing the same thing here. I might change some shapes and some parts of his costume here, because these designs are still a work in process. I mean, I've sketched them a whole SPR, and so parts of all of that is still subject to change. And with I felt like she was looking a little too similar to a character that I had worked on for a hire project not long ago. Genesis Blue and the Magical Microphone. You'll probably see pages of that on the Patreon page. And that character has braids, and I found braids to be a real pain in the butt to draw while I was working on that comic. And so I knew that when I was designing one of the main characters for this book, that she would have braids, so that I could have the opportunity to figure out how to draw those in an efficient manner that I'm happy with. But because of that, I felt that those two characters were looking a wee too similar, and so I ended up kind of changing the shape of her face a bit to kind of, it gave her more of a round chin, a rounded square chin kind of thing that you see on Ray here. Especially since they're siblings, it'd be nice for them to have more features that look alike. So I figured that, and that also kept that idea out of my head that, oh my gosh, he looks a little bit too much like Genesis. But yeah. Hello, Chris. How are you today? Yeah, I keep getting notices, Eli, of the stream going in and out. I don't really know why it's doing that. Let me see if there's anything that I can close. Maybe close down some of these tabs. So, Chris, you've got the little doodle Discord thing set up recently, right? So I may have to jump in on those more often. I want to I want to get more in the habit of lately, this whole year I've been kind of like slow and only working on things when they had like deadlines. And I want to get back. I want to get back to where I used to be, where I was just kind of like drawing all the time. Um, so I'm gonna have to definitely jump in on some of your like little drawing things for sure. Okay, so I'm looking at this, and I'm just like, you didn't really figure out any of these shapes very well, Isaiah. Okay, so he's got headphones on. These are going to be the headphones right here. Oh yeah. And then this part is part of, oops. This is part of his jacket. This is the collar. This is the vest here. I shouldn't do that shading there because we're just going to do some loose color stuff on it to figure out his color scheme. So, and get familiar with how many bumps are on this. So it looks like it's 4. I think that's enough. He's got, I was trying to doodle out like a tool belt for him here, but I think I don't really like that idea. He's just gonna have his t-shirt. Yes, Amra. The body is nearly as wide as the head, and that is intentional. I feel like it's a pretty fun design for him, and it also makes him feel very young. But yeah, like I was thinking that like things like big shoes, maybe even make the gloves bigger, um, were things that I wanted to do with him. And honestly, I think that maybe those shoes are like too big. Whereas the gloves are probably not big enough. And I sat here and I drew a full sketch of his shoe because I just finished reading Haikyuu and the shoes are so very well rendered in there, and I was like, man, I should maybe like draw shoes, like, but they still bore me to tears. And I also like, I was like, oh, shoelaces will be fun, but I think I'm gonna drop the shoelaces and just keep to more simplistic shapes. But yeah, Haikyuu is a really good read and anime to watch. Big suggestion there, but most of you guys watching right here are like my friend group, so you and one of which was the one who suggested Haikyuu to me, so you guys know I'm preaching to the choir here. Haikyuu is great. I was real lazy with the sketch here, but I'm not going to mind so much because this is just some concept work. And when we want some more, when we flesh out this character more, we're going to have some more serious character sketches. Big frame with a lot of room. He's literally built different. Yeah. I think you can have the headphone part swivel flat, since being a young kid, those things would be large under the neck. An engineer boot. I'm going to look up some reference of that real quick. Nah, that's kind of boring. Um, Especially since a big inspiration for this story is going to be a big inspiration for the fashion is going to be hip hop, specifically probably like late 80s, early 90s hip hop. Um, so yeah. Wait, they cursed in Haikyuu, Eli? That's a. Were you thinking about the same thing? Haikyuu is a volleyball anime. I will give some consideration about the idea of the headphones there, Amara, for sure. I'm gonna keep going with what's on here for now, which is not very well defined. Let's go define it a little bit more. Uh, do, 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 But what I am thinking about for the headphones specifically, and I'll do a little sketch of it here, is that I want specifically this kind of thing where like his hair kind of gets like, like the bar that goes in between ends up going in between his hair, and part of his hair kind of gets like messed up from it or something. Maybe kind of obscures part of it or something like that. But something that ends up leaving a depression on his head when he puts the headphones on is a big thing that I'm thinking about for him, because I think that's kind of cute. So something, definitely the design of the headphones are going to facilitate this idea right here of his headphones putting a depression in his flat top. Um, to answer your question, Amra, both. So if he needs to concentrate, it's for noise canceling or to listen to the things that he specifically needs to hear, because he's gonna kind of have like a support role too for his sister and anyone that assists them. So maybe he's gonna have some roles to play where he can like hear things out and give them information or keep them in contact with each other, and he can use the headphones to either cancel out noises to concentrate. Anytime he's working, he's probably going to be listening to some music he really likes a lot. Um, but yeah, it'll be a little bit of both those depending on the situation. Another bad habit of mine that I want to get over, or it's probably going to end up creeping up again later, is my sketch work is always for characters and stuff like that is always really loose, and for this it's biting me in the butt because these shapes and these ideas aren't really figured out yet. But it's so it's because I'm so used to drawing Transiltown, and like Timmy looks like this, and I know how to draw Timmy with my eyes closed, right? And there's a little ascot thing, and I'll just do these really loose sketches for them, and then once time to do the completed artwork, I know where everything goes. But I don't know where everything goes with these guys right now, so I'll definitely have to take my time more. Um, and, definitely, definitely put a little bit more work into my sketch work. But for now, I'm just going to continue with those shapes because the next thing we're going to want to do is just have something to work with to start throwing some colors on this guy to figure out what kind of colors we like. I kind of feel like especially since I'm going to go for not really much to break up the design here. I think I don't like the idea of the tool belt for sure. just because it's busy and I know it's going to be one of those things that I'm not going to want to draw again and again and again for several panels. But without that, I feel like right now nothing really breaks up stuff over here. And usually and it's a crutch, right? Because I do it with I did it with the main character of Fight School High School, and I do it with Alicia. And it's like put something on their shirt, and it's almost always in a circle. Because the character in Fight School High School has like some weird brain cloud looking thing inside of a circle, and then Alicia has my very lazily drawn rose thing inside of a circle. Ray's not going to have that. He's not going to have that. Maybe he'll have some sort of color breakup here, but I don't like how that works with this. Maybe he'll just have maybe just a bar. That's an idea I don't hate. A backpack. A backpack, that's interesting. Let me think about that for a minute. Backpack. And what if it's like big and ends up giving him this interesting turtle shape? That's interesting. Okay, I think I'm back. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm gonna keep the chat open before I start drawing again, so I can answer Eli's question about Fight School High School. Okay, cool. So the story about Fight School High School, Eli, is so I was working with a writer for that one, Matt Gordon, and he just had a whole lot going on with his life at the time, and couldn't keep up with doing both comics and the work that he was doing at the time. We glitched again? Okay, okay. Are we? We're back. Okay, so I'm gonna get back to the story then. Oh, and that just made me think I'm not actually recording. Yeah, I didn't record any of this. Oh well, we're just not gonna record today. Um, so yeah, Fight School High School. Matt, the writer, was just super busy with things in life and couldn't both write that comic and deal with the things in his life at the time. And that's just the way it goes sometimes. And so we had to put that idea on the back burner. We have chatted a few times about bringing it back and working on it again. And so that could be a possibility for the future. I definitely want to work on that project more because I really like the characters that we were coming up with. And it's a shame to have just done two of the same stories back to back with it. I would have liked to, I would like one day to get to um, draw some of the other ideas that Matt has for it and draw some of the other characters that I did some fun design work for. Um, but yeah, that just that happens sometimes. Is that yeah, sometimes that just be how it is. And hopefully one day we can do another project with that. And hello, Sasha. And the idea of an extension cord for a belt, that's also a really interesting one. I definitely like the backpack, and I may go back to the drawing board for designing this character here to incorporate a backpack for sure into his design, because I will have to maybe rethink the vest and rethink. I want him to have his headphones, but you know what I could do is you know, on the backpack, have them hanging on the backpack or something instead of around his neck. They could be going around here, like so. So they're always part of his design. So the backpack is something I definitely want to play with. I don't know, the extension cord might not work. The technology will be wireless. uh, mostly because like wires are annoying to draw. And that's what a lot of my design sensibilities come down to is like, what am I not gonna get freaking annoyed at drawing over and over and over again? And I'm a little mad at myself for even deciding to draw a character with braids as one of the main characters. But that's because I just told myself we're gonna find a way to draw appealing braids quickly and in a way that I am satisfied with. So my next character, or one of my next big characters, is gonna have braids, and we'll see how that works out. We'll see how much I regret that. I hope I don't. I hope I succeed in finding a look for that I like. Did my channel name change? I thought I just changed my name on Google, and I guess that's tied to, yeah, I can't have it both ways. Yeah, like I was trying to change my email, how my name shows up under my email, and YouTube is tied to my Gmail account, so that ended up also changing the name of my YouTube channel, which kind of sucks. I want it branded under Brass Comics instead of under my name. But I was doing some, when I was teaching some classes, um, some editorial cartoon classes earlier this year, people were calling me Brass. And it's like, oh no, my name's not Brass. I mean, like, it's confusing enough that my email is brucesmall@brasscomics.com, and I don't use that name anymore. Um, but no, don't call me Brass. So I changed the name that was displayed there, but I guess it also changed my YouTube page name. How obnoxious. Thank you, Sasha. Glad you're digging the character so far. But yeah, like figuring out something that like you don't hate drawing again and again and again is a, you know, that's pretty important for comics. I know there were like early on in my character designs, I would think so much about like all the cool things I'd want to put on a character, and then I'd either forget to draw things, or I'd forget to or I'd just get annoyed with those things. And I started making a list of things to stop putting on characters, and I already broke one of those for this character, which one of them was gloves. Um, I will almost always forget to draw gloves on characters, but I don't think that's going to happen for him because his design is the gloves are very much part of his design to like make his hands look a little bit bigger. And it kind of gives him, I don't know, like a Sonic the Hedgehog kind of vibe with the big shoes and the big gloves. That I don't see myself forgetting to draw that, but other things like earrings, um, I'll forget to draw on characters. Um, Face marks like moles. When I was working on Genesis Blue, and Jesse was the colorist for that project, and when I finished all the line art and was sending it to Jesse, I'd realized there were a handful of pages that I forgot to draw accessories. Like the character had bangles on her wrist, which that's my interpretation of bangles for right now. And she also had a mole. And there were several pages where I forgot to draw both of those. And so, like, I quickly started going back to pages and trying to find each of those instances and replacing the pages on in the Google Share folder before Jesse could get around to coloring it, and she still found ones that I missed because I'm so bad at those, and so I'm also like, don't put those on characters because you're just gonna forget to draw them. I'm just going to go ahead and draw a line here right now, and we'll figure out in the coloring phase if I want that line to help break up part of the design. I feel like this glove here could be a little bigger. Like so. Another thing I could do is, because what I did like about the tool belt part of the design, or intention of the design, was that it gave me a shape here, like so. And if I pull up, yeah, like Viola's got these fun shapes that I put on her, and there go those braids. And I think the first, and I'm ending up talking about things more than I am going to end up drawing, but I do like to share my thought process about things a lot. So, but Genesis Blue, when I was drawing that, she had very thin braids. Let me not be so lazy about it. Let's and that was one of the main annoying parts about it. Was just this bundle of really thin braids, and what I ended up doing late in that project was thinking about the braids in clusters, and I'm still being extremely loose about it, but when I thought about it in clusters, I could use a whole lot less lines. But the unfortunate part was I drew a close-up of her where I actually got to draw the texture of the braids and whatnot. And I thought it was very unfortunate that because she had very thin braids, that in a lot of the shots I didn't get to draw what I thought was like those really cool shapes. And so that's the first thing that I decided to do when, and I'm still not married to the name Viola, but when I started designing Viola and I decided on doing braids, was they're going to be big. They're going to be big because I want to draw this shape here, this little zigzag, and then kind of go, yeah. I think that's really fun. And also because they're not so thin, and I have to, kind of define each of those, I'm hoping it's not going to be a pain in the butt to draw eventually. But I also, they're going to be fun for conveying motion. So yeah, I'm definitely going to use in the comic proper templates for these circles. That's kind of bothering me right now. We're not going to say that. I think the JBL has a neat design for big headphones. What is the JBL? And that'd be interesting to look up so I can have some fun reference to look at. That looks like the hat from Sword and Shield. Yeah, I guess so. My inspiration for biggest inspiration for design is Left Eye from TLC. She had some really big hats. Um, and that definitely, I don't know if you know who TLC is. Okay, sorry, I got disconnected again. I don't know what's causing that. I will definitely be researching that for future streams. Um, Apologize for that very much. It's the first time I'm streaming on YouTube. I've done some not Twitch, Picarto. Yeah, I used to stream on Picarto. Um, and I don't remember having issues there. So if they continue to persist on YouTube, I may try over there again for live streams, and then just record while I'm streaming so that I can do like time lapses of whatever I'm working on and stuff. Amra, I'm not seeing a link. If you want to just like shoot me that link on Facebook, yeah, I'd love to check out those headphone shapes. Because right now, these shapes are very awful headphone shapes. Because they're just kind of like the idea of headphones right now, rather than. But I need to look up some good reference to give him something that looks really good. Okay, let's figure out his shoes here. One thing I know for sure is probably going to take me. I think I may have tried a little too hard to come up with interesting shoe shapes for these guys, and I think they're going to be hard to remember without constantly looking at a design sheet. So that's going to be a problem. Because like shoes in Transaltown were stupid easy. Here's Timmy's shoe. Oh, let's get a better shape. And then it just had a little thing right here that used to be where shoelaces would go, but I got tired of drawing shoelaces. All right, so that's Timmy's shoe. Very, very simple. And then Alicia's boot. Easy. And I had this kind of going on up there. And then there was like Veronica. Had some heel things going on. And then just these weird things to kind of give it more shape. And I could draw all those from memory, but this, man, this is like, I'll have to tone this darn thing down. And then there's also this thing going on here, and then this goes like that. That's a lot of shapes. I don't know. We'll think about that. Okay, let's check out this link that Amra gave me of the shoes. I mean, not the shoes, the headphones. Do noise canceling headphones. Let's take a look at those shapes and see how fun that's going to be to draw and see how I want to like ways to simplify it. Yeah, thank you for that reference there, Amra. And I think the next time I do some more sketches of this character, I'm going to play around with those shapes of those headphones and see how I like them and see how I can mold them into something that I can draw frequently. And just like I was mentioning earlier with Viola's gloves, that I would use templates for sure. And the same thing here with I'm probably if I continue to go, I'm not entirely married to the idea of these floating camera things, but if I do go through with them, I'm going to call them fairies, which I mean is obvious from their design, right? They just kind of give you the vibe of, hey, listen. But yeah, I would definitely use on an actual page some templates to get these circles right. But for now, we're doing this. Yeah, that's true, Sasha. I did draw the Transfer Town characters a whole lot more, and maybe I'll stick with the shoe design and it'll come down to memory. But I'm just looking at it right now, and I'm all like, oh man, what are you thinking, Isaiah? These shapes are just like there's so many. I do just love how big. And I apologize so much for all the disconnections. I'm definitely gonna look into my settings. Uh, Again, I'm probably what I'm gonna do actually, because I do try to stop. I try to make sure I stop drawing at 11 o'clock, and that's because I used to be just very unhealthy about like drawing until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and then still having to go to my day job. So I do cut myself off at 11. And what I think I might do is save figuring out regular scheme for tomorrow. Since we're wrapping up the inks on this anyways, and actually we're done with the inks on this now, and I can use the rest of my work time to just kind of research settings for streaming on YouTube. Tried recently disconnecting and try to make sure that I get that resolved for next time. What I will say, oh, I feel like, yeah, make sure I get some of these shapes in here. What I will say about the color design experiments that I'm probably going to do tomorrow is I'm feeling green or blue for him, in the same way that I'm going to pull up Viola again. Consistent in each of these is the color yellow, and so I knew coming in is that I wanted yellow to be a big color for her. And I'm still not happy with any of these yet. I think I might be feeling the one on the right the most, but her shoes could use some more color maybe. And maybe do away with the cyan and just do more of the magenta. And just, yeah, maybe just keep the cyan for the sunglasses and maybe use them for the beads that she puts on her braids there. I don't know. I'll think about it a little bit more, but the consistent color for her for sure is going to be yellow. And for Ray, I'm thinking either green or blue is what I'm going to be playing around with tomorrow as I figure things out. So if you guys want to join me tomorrow, hopefully I'll have this streaming thing figured out. And we'll open up again with some verb sketches. There were a lot of really fun ones that were still suggested. And Eli, I want to do your suggestion of gaming. I'm already thinking of a fun way to draw that one. So thanks a lot for joining me here, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed your time with me, and have a good night.